This is Mindustry Eviction PvP. I'm playing against RZ, and I think there might be a few other people, but RZ is my main opponent since we're similarly skilled. I was playing this while streaming, and oh, and jumping around. So yeah, I was playing this while streaming, so I uh, had to cut out some parts. Right there, I just realized I completely messed up my build order. I was completely using my schematic wrong. I put coal where the lead should go, and I put lead where the coal should go. So this is me trying to fix that. There we go. At this point, we've had it fixed, and I'm just scouting the maps, looking around, and trying to direct my first units. But yeah, this is my typical builder. I go with units and silicon first, and then I grab some titanium. All the schematics that I use in this game mode, well, just in general, when I play Mindustry, I made them myself, so um, I know how to use them, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with that. This is my first time recording, uh, like gameplay, like a voiceover over like PvP gameplay. So bear with me if I am bad at this, because I don't know, if you watch my streams, you know that I can ramble sometimes and I lose my train of thought easily. And here again, like I should have been reclaiming those earlier, so I'd have enough titanium for to finish that schematic. Also, over here, looks like I messed up the placement of coal. So I was making hella mistakes this game. Anyway, I got my first power up finally. Um, I always go for a diff gen right off the bat. I don't even care about anything else. Like, I know some people make steam and like combustion generators and stuff right off the bat, but literally the first power I make is differential gens, because you have a little bit in the form of the solar panels around your core. This is eviction. I think I mentioned that, right? This is on the eviction server, made by Laro Fedicus. Um, he makes this kind of style of videos, and I figured, you know what, I should do something like that, because I like playing PvP. I like playing on this server, and I like watching back my own recordings to just see where I've made mistakes and how I can improve and stuff. So yeah, this is good stuff. Anyway, so after I get the power, I'll go back to talking about the build order. Yeah, after I build the power and stuff, I go for thorium and then metaglass and then graphite. And I don't mess around with graphite with mechanical drills and stuff, because at this point I can already afford an air blast drill. So I just go ahead and plop down an air blast drill of graphite, and then shortly after I generate a little bit more graphite with it, I can plop down a water extractor and then water it. And now here I'm watering my thorium drills, and so on and so forth. This is titanium now. Yeah, so I don't really know how to. I don't really know what to talk about when I'm doing this stuff. I don't know. I guess I'll just ramble. You guys can watch and listen. You can see what my chat was doing at the time while I was streaming this. Generally, when I play PvP, I don't really pay super close attention to my chat, because I like trying hard. Like I do like tryharding in PvP. I'll be honest. Like, I don't know. I get more enjoyment out of it when I can fully focus on it and be very, very present. So anyway, this is essentially it for my first hex. After I get all that stuff, then I move on to the second hex, where I start bigger silicon production. And people typically use, in this game it probably would have been smarter for me to do this, but people typically use silicon production, like a big silicon schematic that only costs copper and lead. But I found, like, if I was playing this fast and I didn't make a bunch of mistakes at the beginning, I actually didn't have enough copper and lead to do it. But I did have enough medical, or I did have enough thorium, and I guess metaglass and graphite is part of it. But I had enough of that stuff to just build an air blast drill for the sand, instead of just building a crap ton of copper drills, which cost like about a thousand copper. So, sorry, I'm getting a little bit distracted here. Give me a second. All right, it should be better. So now, yeah, I just took a look over at RZ to see where he was at in his build order. I didn't really get a good look of it right now, so it's not much for me to comment on. The advantage also of the schematic that I was talking about with the silicon that I have here is that I can it'll output a little bit of sand and coal into the core, which I will later use. Oh, there we go. I'm using it right now to power a differential generator. I need a little bit of more space on the core, so I have to delete some stuff and replace it a little bit nicer. But yeah, I've still, since this game, I played this about a month ago, I think, actually, at the time of me recording my voiceover here. Since this game, I've actually developed my build order a little bit. I've made some new schematics and made some changes, and I feel like it's better now. I don't know the timing of actually in Laro Fedicus's video. I know, sorry, I'm bouncing around like crazy here. In a bunch of Laro's videos, again, I mentioned he does recordings of PvP like this. He has like a little timer on the side of his screen about where my chat is, where you can see Rushy Wasp. Rushy Wasp is just talking about stuff. Yeah, Laro has a timer there, and I feel like I should probably get one of those because it's actually very, very handy to just see your timings of everything and see how long you've been in the game. Unfortunately, I did make a cut earlier because I was just kind of sitting around and not much was going on because I think I was interacting with chat at that time. So we don't actually know the proper time of what the game, like the in-game time at the moment, but that's all right. I might do a /time command, and that'll just tell us how long we've been in the game. But I typically aim to get an overdrive dome by 10 minutes, or around 10 minutes, by 10 or 11.
Chuck.
And this game, I'm sure I'm going to be like super, super late. Well, not super late. It's still very fast, I'll be honest, but relatively late to what I ideally would like. But that's all right. You're placing down a bunch of water extractors right next to a big patch of water. Good job, Eric. My name's Eric, by the way. Hello. You can call me Googly Goo or Eric, I don't mind. But yeah, I think here I just noticed that I'm a little low on silicon, and actually it looks like Metaglass is not as high, but it's okay. There's a lot of optimizations I need to figure out still for my build order. Like 10-minute dome sounds dope. Like that's pretty great, but there's still a lot that I can tweak here and there to shave off a few seconds and to make sure it works in as many hexes as possible. In my first hex, I typically like to, or my build order. What am I trying to say here? I tried to optimize my build order to work in hexes that you don't necessarily have a lot of coal because, oh, I'm messing up my hotkeys here. That's always something that I forget, is just, or not forget, but like I fumble a lot, is just my hotkey usage and my schematics and all that. I forgot where I was earlier, but I mean, it is what it is. It might come back up later. Anyway, noticed that power was pretty low, so dropped down another little differential scheme. I've noticed some people, I need more sand in the core, I guess. I've determined that I need that. Can't remember. Oh yeah, I guess because my next schematic will one that unloads sand and coal from the core. I've since made a better schematic than that. Like that's kind of a big point to my gameplay. That's yeah, that's a big thing that I do. Is whenever I play a game, I I optimize and I realize like, okay, how could I make this better? And then I I hop on my phone and I can, open up Mindustry on my phone and then just make schematics and be like, okay, so this didn't work here, this didn't work here, this could be slightly better this way and that way. And then I just optimize that way. So that's something that I enjoy doing. I don't have a lot of time in the day to just like sit down and play Mindustry on my computer, which is basically the only way you can do proper PvP. I can't imagine actually doing PvP on the phone. Like, that just sounds painful to me, but people do it. What was my point? I forget. uh, oh yeah, okay. So I like to spend a lot of my Mindustry time just on my phone, actually, just like in between um, like tasks at work. No, that doesn't. No, I don't do that. I guess I do it while like I'm on my lunch break at work. I play some Mindustry on my phone, or like if I'm laying in bed and I'm like tossing and turning because I can't sleep. Like last night, I had like a splitting headache, and probably what was I doing there? I don't know why I was doing in and out there. Anyway, um, I probably playing Mindustry didn't help. I'll be honest, but um, I made some schematics last night while I was just like sitting in bed with a splitting headache. It kind of helped me help distract myself from the pain. It's not so dramatic, but it is kind of true. I haven't scouted RZ in a while. It's probably something I should be doing. I'm pretty sure last time I saw, like, I'm actually pretty far behind. I actually played him in a match. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. And uh, it was very different. I feel like he's improved a lot since this game. Um, but it was fun to play against him. I'm excited to play with him more in the future. But this is I'm starting to get into the phase of the game where um, will like to critique me a lot for the schematics that I make, but I feel like they're fun. I like using them because I plop down a big schematic and then I just get to micro units and I get to harass my enemies and stuff like that. So it's kind of sick. But even just watching this back now, I can see there's a lot of stuff that I could do better for sure. And the other game that I mentioned that I played against RZ, I do also want to post a recording of that too. I'll do a voiceover of it as well and post it. I want to start doing this more, to be honest. I feel like I've been really severely neglecting just YouTube as a whole, to be honest. I've been streaming a lot. I've been pretty consistent about it, but uh, YouTube, I don't know. It's more difficult because I have to edit. Twitch, you can just play video games and talk to people and have a good time, but like YouTube and making videos and stuff, you have to. There's a lot more intentionality behind it. Is that even a word? I don't know. I think you get what I mean. So the schematics that I'm using right now, the idea is that I don't want to have to worry about. I want to worry about the least amount of things possible when I'm playing PvP against another player, because you kind of have to optimize your APM. Mindustry is similar to an RTS. It pretty much is an RTS at this point, but in StarCraft 2 and a bunch of other RTSs, like, the most important thing is your APM. That's not true. A big factor of it is definitely your APM, and that's actions per minute for those of you that don't know. And honestly, I don't have great actions per minute. It's hard for me to do so many things at once and all that. So in Mindustry, it's a beautiful thing because you can kind of make up for APM with schematics. You can kind of invest time outside of the game to do better while you're playing the game. If that makes sense. And yeah, like I mentioned, a lot of my schematics are optimized in a way to relieve APM, I guess. If that makes sense. So these are very, very centered around the cores. So I unload a lot from the cores, I deposit a lot into the cores, and I am starting to change that lately with the I've made a couple new schematics that are a little bit different in a few aspects, but I feel like these served me well for a long time, but now people are starting to get a lot better at this game, and I'm starting to have to adapt. Because for a while there, I would honestly I'd be able to beat most people, and I wouldn't play as much as them. Now, not playing as much as them is actually a really, really bad detriment because people are learning a lot quicker than I am, and they're practicing and they're doing all this and that. But for a while last year, like whenever I would hop into a game, I'd beat people. Like even people like, I wish I kept this game and recorded it, but I played a game against Green and Laro Fedicus, and I've played games against Pobernick and a bunch of like the top tier Mindustry PvP players, and I'd be able to beat them, but I'd spend a lot less time actually in game than they would, and that's pretty evident by my rank in in this. Like everyone's, it goes by like tiers, I guess. There's no like ELO or like MMR ranking system in my industry. It's just kind of however the server admins, whatever they can code and whatever they can do. I don't know how it works, to be honest. Um, uh, I lost my point again. I do this so much. I got distracted by what's happening in game. I gotta focus. Like it's because I'm attacking stuff now. This is, like interesting shit's happening. Look at this. I'm going into RZ. I'm trying to just snipe what I can. Um, he's got a lot of defenses up, and uh, I basically only have flares in terms of offensive units, but he's already getting Zenith and stuff. And honestly, we're well over 17 minutes. Yeah, we're well over the point where you would be seeing Zeniths and stuff. So I feel like we're both kind of playing slow. Here I'm just placing a bunch of defense forts because, like I said, I saw that he does have Zenith. If you have a cloud of polys, your cores are basically invincible because you can, if they're in the right place at the right time, that is. Um, but if you just have polys, you're fine. You can just sit your polys on top of your cores, and they will heal them for the rest of eternity. Like you'll be fine. Like even against these Zenith, like he has a bunch, but if I can just sit my polys right there, they can just heal the core, and the core will tank the damage for them, so they won't die. But they'll just constantly heal it faster than he can destroy it with the Zenith, and I'll be fine. And I trust my forts there to do the job, so I kind of just ignore his attack at that point, and then I just go back to building my defense forts. But yeah, at this point, I definitely have the unit deficit. Like I don't have I don't have Zenith. I don't have the army that RZ does. So just building defenses because that's kind of all I can do. I gotta play it safe and make sure I don't get killed. Here's one of my, I'm finally placing one of my really, really big forts. So this big old schematic makes silicon, it makes polys and monos and megas, and it makes metaglass and graphite and power, and it makes everything, actually. It straight up makes everything in the game, like every resource. It doesn't make every unit, but it makes every resource in the game. It makes surge alloy, phase fabric, plastanium. Okay, little caveat there. Not every resource. Every important resource that you use for building, it doesn't use like it doesn't make glass compound and airtight stuff like that. Anyway, I feel like I lost my point again. I do this so much. But yeah, so I'm just placing that, and now I have the opportunity to just micro a bunch of units. So while my core unit is building all that shit, I'm optimizing my APM by doing other stuff because I don't need to pay attention to my core unit. He's just off doing his own thing. And I noticed that it's like, I figure that it's about time that it's about to finish up. So I just move it around and make sure. Oh, I responded to chat there a little bit. um, but yeah, I'm just finishing up my schematic and then microing my units, and that's kind of my specialty at this point. I feel like I do have a good amount of practice with that. Not that it takes an especially huge amount of skill, but I do feel like I've learned good unit control. But yeah, at this point, like it doesn't take a lot of like I'll definitely admit like this isn't skillful. Like all I do is place down a schematic and then just let it do its thing. Honestly, like that works. But again, like it gives me time to do other things, and that's what I mean by you're investing your time before the game so that you can save time while you're playing the game. I noticed I had some megas just going off to go repair stuff, but I want them mining because megas can mine titanium. And if I have units that can mine titanium, then I don't have to put drills on titanium. The only resource that I have to put drills on is thorium. And then my schematics will essentially take care of the rest because, um, again, they unload everything from the core and then they can make every resource. Like, you just have to feed a couple aeroblast drills of sand into them, and then they make coal, they make everything, they draw everything out of the core, they put everything back into the core. You don't have to worry about it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've talked enough about my schematics. I don't know. I've gotten a lot of flack over it, honestly. I might be coming across a little defensive. It's probably not a great look, but it is what it is. But yeah, just going around microing some units. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing. I guess I guess I'm trying to rally my units and look for a weak point because players, I mean, they're not going to be destroying forts anytime soon. And nowadays, people have really strong forts. So even Zeniths aren't really going to be destroying forts. Like you need really good stuff. Like flares are good for sniping vulnerable things because they're fast. They're very fast units. Zeniths are good for what are they good? I don't even know. Like, why do I even build Zeniths? Maybe that's something I should consider. Is just just not even building Zeniths anymore. No, that's not true. They're still very strong. You still need Zeniths, I think. But against the forts that RZ has, like I don't know, they're like I can't attack into those. I'll have to get clever and try to again find a weakness with the Zeniths, and again flying units. You know that's their specialty. They can explore the map and they can go around. Like sure, you take attrition damage. You just saw RZ there. He just lost like again. He just lost a big chunk of Zeniths because not to damage, but just because he's away from his cores and start taking damage that way. It looks like I'm about to lose that core, so I pull my forces away because every time you lose a core, or anytime a core gets destroyed in this particular PvP server, anything in that hex, any unit in that hex will be divided by 2. That doesn't make sense. Um, you have a chance of losing about half of your units every time a core dies. So um, if I'm about to lose a core, I just kind of cut my losses and then run my units away, and it's not really much of a problem. You'll notice RZ isn't really attacking into my forts, even though he probably could destroy them. The titanium walled ones would be a much harder prospect to destroy, but the copper walled forts he could probably take out with ease. Um, Although it doesn't really provide him much value doing that because It's
Check
they're
chat
pretty
when
cheap.
ready.
They're not very difficult for me to rebuild and retake, but I mean that's definitely a way he could have gained ground in this situation of the game. Oh, it looks like I was responding to chat again. I'm not too sure what I was doing there, but that's okay. Looks like he's trying to go for the core that I'm trying to build, and you can see me controlling my poly swarm to just sit right on top of the core. I just really don't want to lose this. And at this point, like, I know he's not going to take this hex. Like, I have so much stuff. Yeah, I have so much stuff there. I really respect RZ because he's also a player that builds his own schematic and tries to get better at the game and practice a lot. Like, yeah, all his schematics. I'm pretty sure he makes his own because I haven't seen anyone else play that. But then again, use those schematics in particular. But then again, like I don't really play this a lot, so maybe I'm wrong. But at this point, I notice like there's so much free space on the map that either of us can take, and if either of us can take it, then I want to be the one that's taking it. You know? And it looks like he's kind of figuring out the same thing. He's pushing up, but he should really be pushing down because that's where most of the map is. I like to have a fort worth of buffer between those and like my production hexes, my huge big boxy schemes like this one. Like since I do have a couple forts in between, I'm okay with reclaiming the fort that was here and then just replacing it with this. Every time I make one of these, I have to make sure that these air blast drills I'm about to place right now are within the dome's radius, because if they're not within the dome range, then they're just not gonna work. Not gonna work very well. And then I'll run out of resources, and then my eco balance will be all out of whack, and then blah blah blah. In one of Laropheticus, I say it, I like it. I like the name. If you know the story behind his name, it's a really sick name. But anyway, he made a video like last year, talking about look, I'm about to lose this core, so I just put down a bunch of support units right on top of it, and I'll be fine. I think. Oh well, I don't know. Actually, that looked kind of sketch. Am I okay? Yeah, I think I'm okay. Yeah, he doesn't have that much there. I don't have much in the way of defense structures there, so it was kind of a sketchy prospect there for a second. But why was I talking about Laro? Oh yeah, he posted a video a while back talking about me. I realized that this is not my core. Like, he has a very similar color to me. Did you hear my fiance in the background, by the way? My mic is very, very sensitive, so I don't she's she's screaming and stuff. I don't know what she's up to, but okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm being attacked again. RZ is very, very good at just constantly putting on pressure, and I think I really need to get better at that. I don't know. I just need a lot more practice. Just need more practice. I need to play the game more. That's how you get better. You just play it more. It is good to. Oh yeah, I gotta go kill that thing. I gotta take that. Right, back to the Laro story. He made a video and he was critiquing some of my schemes, and they're like very, very fair schemes. He's just like, oh, you should probably include the drills in your schematics, and your schematics use a lot of unloaders and this and that, and they're expensive, which is all fair. Um, but in terms of like including drills in the schematics, I don't really enjoy doing that because then you have to fiddle with where they are on the core. A lot of people do have core schematics that use inbuilt drills, but I don't really like. Do I get this core, by the way? No, I don't think I did. Damn, he just destroyed me there. That's kind of sad. I thought I was gonna get it for sure. I had such a huge cloud of Zenith, and he just has a shard core. Like, those don't hold up very well. But yeah, a lot of people use core schematics that have drills on them, but I don't really like doing that because like you have to fiddle with two things instead of one thing. You have to fiddle with the core position, and you have to fiddle with the drill position, because there isn't always sand perfectly in place of where you want that. It's not always convenient. But if you just have the drills separate, then you can just always worry about one thing at a time. You worry about the core placement. That's very easy. You just place it on the core. And then you worry about the drill placement separately. And sometimes it's very easy, but then sometimes you have to, you know, maneuver things a little bit and this and that. I lost this core, but honestly, I was okay with that. That was my starting hex, and it didn't actually have a lot on it. And honestly, I didn't really think it would be that valuable to defend. And honestly, he kind of did me a solid there by destroying it, because now I don't have to reclaim. Oh, I was gonna say, now I don't have to like reclaim all those structures. I can just rebuild a better hex onto there. But it looks like my polys are doing it regardless. Looks like I'm sharking around for another attack. I noticed here, just looking at his big factory schemes, he did actually tell me recently that those are based on my design. I had a feeling that they would be. Oh, and I got a sneaky little snipe there on the core. That's great. I had a feeling that I have a feeling that I actually did change the meta of this particular PvP server. Like I never really saw people making these like huge core schemes where you unload from the core. Like everyone would just do, you know, like they would do remote stuff and then just built things into the core. But I feel like I did change the meta, and I like people might argue otherwise, but I don't know. I don't know. Like it's definitely changed, and it was after I was doing this. I was the first one to do this that I've ever seen. I don't know. I feel like I can give myself some credit there. But yeah, for the longest time, this match has kind of been stagnated. Like I've just been building more Zeniths, and he's been building more Zeniths, and I feel like this game could have, you know, it could have ended if I focused on teching up a little bit faster. I'm just spamming down surge towers because I can't be bothered. Like I have so many of those. Actually, I don't. I was gonna say I have so many of those resources, but like only I have less than 2k surge. That's actually very important because I need that to, you know, have ammo. Yeah, actually, if RZ just like went ham on the flare spam, he probably could have run me out of ammo pretty quickly. There's a lot. There's a lot of things that you're gonna notice after you just like after a game is done and you're watching it back. Like you can always critique yourself and other players easily, but yeah, I don't know. That's something I want to do more of as well, is just watch my own gameplay back and then try to learn from it, because you can only learn so much while you're in the thick of it, you know? Okay, so here I'm finally doing what I said earlier, which was teching up. This is another one of my gigantic schemes, and this will buy me, like, this will allow me some time to micro units and go on the attack, because now I'm doing two things at once. I'm building and I'm attacking. And if I'm attacking, then he's, you know, if he's smart, he's defending, and it looks like he is indeed defending. Here I'm trying to split up my forces so that, you know, I can attack two places at once, and then hopefully I can get a core. And it looks like, yeah, that one at the top wasn't my priority. I wanted to just get this one. I didn't really have any hope of destroying that other one, and I really thought I would get it, but like even now, after watching it back, like I thought I would get it, but no, I guess not. Looks like I'm out of silicon. Probably should have paid attention to that before I did anything else. Damn, even this core, am I gonna keep it? No, okay, he did get it. I was like, damn, I think I might be able to keep it, but no, yeah, he got that one for sure. The brown, like the copper walled fort, I think I have, what, 4 or 5 levels of that fort? The copper one is essentially the first level. and it's good at holding off like huge swarms of flares, and then a few Zenith. But then the second level, oh my god, yeah, they're lost a bunch more units for free essentially because I wasn't paying attention. The second level with the titanium walls is much better at dealing with Zenith because it has so many more fuses. Fuses are basically all you need against Zenith. If someone's smart, they would just like hang back and just kind of take it slow and let the Zenith grind through out of range of the fuses. But that's what the swarmers are for, because if you include swarmers, then they're on a timer, and you know the Zenith aren't going to last very long if they're under fire from a bunch of cryo-fluided, overdrive boosted swarmers. Now this Hex I really don't want him to keep. Like that, it's actually very, very important for me to keep this one, because if he takes this one, then it opens up basically my whole base. And holy smokes, I've been spending so much time on this one schematic, but once it gets up, it's pretty good. It makes Velas. That's all it does. It makes Velas. It doesn't take anything. I know people have much more compact schematics to make 2 T4 factories worth of Velas, but and this takes like a whole core. But I just plop this down, and it makes the silicon required for the Velas. It makes the plastanium. It makes the well, I guess titanium's never an issue if you have enough megas mining. So that's kind of my theory there. But it makes the cryo fluid. It makes everything that you need for Velas. It makes the power as well. So I just plop that down, and I get Velas, and I don't have to think about it. I don't have to prepare anything beforehand. I don't need to worry about ratios like, oh no, am I going to run out of plastanium or silicon if I place this down? Like, no, I just place it down, and I know it's going to work. And again, that's just kind of the theme for most of my things. And it looks like he is indeed slow boating it there, so he's doing exactly what I said. He was just taking his time and attacking, but then that kind of opened up his fort for me to attack from behind. And that kind of, you know, gives me the cue to start upgrading my own forts and then, you know, plopping down more and more of my own. But I see that I have a couple Velas, and I can just take them to go on the attack. I don't want to leave them alone though. Like, I definitely want to support them with something, because I mean they're very strong. Don't get me wrong, they're very, very strong, but they can die. Like they're still they're still vulnerable to stuff. And now what am I? Oh, this is my economy hex. Also, my schematic naming convention. I don't know if anyone else does this, but no, I have 2 more Velas down there. Use them. No, that's fine. My schematic naming convention is just like T spam, because you press T to open up the schematic library, and then if you just press it a few more times, those are my PvP schematics, you know. And I organize them like TTTS for silicon, TTTG for graphite, and then TTTU for units. And I have a few others, but I honestly, even my naming convention, I'm gonna start changing. I think now I haven't actually played a game with this, but like I'm gonna try TTT1 for the first hex that I'm in, TTT2 for my second hex, TTT3 for my third, and so on and so forth. And right there you can see RZ is kind of surrendering, and I'm like, oh, really? You're actually dead? Like, sorry, Caps. But yeah, I'm just going in a couple Velas. Oh, I have a lot more too. I don't think I've lost any of them at this point either. And I'm just placing down more economy since I see that I'm low on silicon, and well, these make silicon, so figured I should just pop down more of these. But yeah, there we go. More Velas. There's like 7 right there, and they can easily take out the core just like that. I did lose half of them. I lost 3 of them there, which is pretty rough, but I still have a good amount. I have 3 more back here. I have those 4 over there, and they can all heal each other too. Like, even if they take a bunch of damage, like, they can all heal each other. Like, Velas are such good units. People used to use quads a bunch, but um, the micro potential and like the damage that Velas can do, like, they're just amazing. Honestly, I feel like Velas are better than T5 units, to be honest. Like, you do need Corvuses to break like insanely large, ridiculous forts that span the whole map. Like, I don't know. There are some forts that are just completely unbreakable, and you just need the Corvus to shell it from long range, out of range of any of the turrets. But for the vast majority of forts that I see in games that I see, like, you can probably just end them with Velas. They're just such good units. And they fly too. Look at that shit. You can get around fast. RZ doesn't have too many defenses integrated into his schematic, so I can actually just, run away. Oh, it looks like I didn't fully complete that scheme, so I had to place down the thing there. Anyway, I think he did slash die, so all of his cores will slowly blow up eventually. They don't do it all at once, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think I talked to Lara about it, and he said it was just something to do with lag and stuff. It was just too much for the server to handle, so he did it in a way where the server only blows up as many as it can handle, essentially. But yeah, this was a good game. This was a good game.